Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today I am doing a Donald Trump policy review video as was requested. So Donald Trump doesn't really have policies here, it's more of what he did as president. So I'm going to be discussing his achievements, or what he claims to be achievements. I will link this in the description. This is his promises kept page, and he talks about his accomplishments, and the first one here is economy and jobs. So here he talks about passing the historic tax cuts called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is the first major tax reform signed in 30 years. Federal revenues are increasing as the economy grows. April 2018 had a record surplus of $214 billion. Over 500 companies, 507, have announced bonuses, wage increases, and new investments. Businesses have invested $482 billion in new American projects and employees. More than 4.8 million workers received increased wages or bonuses, 3.7% of all private workers. Provided $1.5 trillion in tax cuts to individuals. American families received $3.2 trillion in gross tax cuts and saw child tax credit double. A family of four making $73,000 will get a cut of over $2,000, cutting their taxes in half. Nearly doubled the standard deduction, repealed Obamacare, burdensome individual mandate. The bill provides 20% deduction for small business income, which means $415 billion tax cuts. $415 billion tax cuts. The president lowered the corporate tax rate. Was lowered from the highest in the industrial world. So it was 35% and now it's at 21%, which is, from what I'm seeing here, it's pretty good, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So I like that policy of his, especially because of what happened after that. Of course, because it's already happened, there are two sides to the story, and I can't really see the other side here. So we're just gonna take his word for this. And it's pretty good. Unemployment rate fell 3.8% in May, the lowest rate since 2000. Very good. And a lot of this is happening because of the tax cuts. This is called supply side economics. And it's not just for the 1% or the richer class in our nation. It's for middle class and even working poor American citizens or residents. They get tax cuts, and a family of four making $73,000 will get a cut of over $2,000, cutting their taxes in half, which is really good for the average American. And when people say that the economy is doing good but wages are stagnating, this is contradicting what is shown on this website, where businesses, where does it say it? Over 500 companies, 507, have announced bonuses, wage increases, and new investments. So that's good for the average worker. And 223,000 jobs were added in May 2018. That's from over a year ago. So maybe this hasn't been updated. President Trump relieves community and regional banks from Dodd-Frank's burdensome and costly regulations. The United States announced amendments to the South Korea Free Trade Agreement to better benefit American cars, pharmaceuticals, steel, and agriculture products. USDA and USTR announced Argentina would be accepting U.S. pork products for the first time in 26 years as a part of President Trump's push to open markets to American agriculture. So this is helping the agriculture industry. This is really from a year ago. So this thing, he hasn't updated this website in some time. So we could see that the economy is doing pretty well because of all of this. The U.S. gross domestic product GDP grew at or above 3% for 2 quarters in a row for the first time in 3 years. So first quarter 3.2, second 3.1. 2017 first quarter GDP grew only 1.2%. And the fourth quarter grew 2.5. So that seems like a little when you see all the other GDP growth. When you see how he's been doing in recent quarters, but still, it's the best. 2.3% was the best since 2015 in GDP growth. And that's when the economy was healing from the Great Recession. So economic growth was at a high. Well, at least it should have been. Dow Jones Industrial Average hit record highs more than 80 times under President Trump, including closing higher than 26,000 points for the first time in its history. Well, by now it's already hit 27,000. I'm pretty sure that it's currently at 26,000 or maybe 25,000. It's going up and down. Since President Trump's election, more than $5 trillion in wealth has been created for the U.S. economy. Very, very good. I can't really go through everything here, but you could just see that his policies are working. And especially with trade with other countries, at least the ones with South Korea and Argentina, and the ones with the USMCA, I think it's called, because I don't really like some of the stuff that he's doing in China right now with the tariffs, but until now, pretty good for him. I don't know if we'll be able to make it through everything here, so I'm going to go with the most important parts here. So we see here he has education, veterans, infrastructure, social programs, healthcare, government accountability. So I'm going to go for immigration. This one is one of the very important issues and one of the major issues facing our country at this point. So this is already from a year ago. He really hasn't updated anything. Well, here he has it. He's updated some stuff. Let's see this. President Trump unveiled his administration's plan to create fair, modern, and lawful system of immigration for the United States. Very broad, so I'm not going to look at that. President Trump called on Congress to fully fund a wall along the southern borders to close legal loopholes that enable illegal immigration, to end chain migration, and to eliminate the visa lottery program. So we've seen that the wall, Trump signed the executive order and it was upheld by the courts. So legally, Trump is able to begin construction of his border wall. So my opinion on the matter, it really depends. It's a lot of money, but in the end, it's actually gonna be profitable because of the social security benefits illegal immigrants get. And if Donald Trump could stop a lot of the illegal immigration, around 60 or to 80%, or 60 to 70%. I don't really know the statistic, but it's around that margin. A wall would be hard to go through, and it would work. It would actually work. You could take, for example, the border wall between Israel and Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, which is very helpful for Israel and is saving many of their people from attacks from Hamas. Not all of them. That's why I think that there should be more ICE funding. And from here, we could see some more stuff that he's been doing. President Trump pulled the United States out of negotiations for the Global Compact on Migration, a plan for global governance of immigration and refugee policy that may have compromised U.S. sovereignty. So I haven't really heard of the Global Compact on Migration. I might have to look into that before I see if it's actually going to be compromising, if it would have compromised on U.S. sovereignty. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Homeland Security took action to wind down the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program in an orderly fashion, following the assessment of the Department of Justice, DOJ, that DACA lacks legal authorization. So this action gives Congress the opportunity to consider appropriate legislative solutions as required by our Constitution. That's kind of ironic when you think about it, because then Trump used the executive order for the border wall. So maybe his opinions changed on that, because you can't have it both ways. You can't criticize Obama for having an executive order for DACA, but then using an executive order for what you want. Personally, I don't have that much of a problem with executive orders. They are legal and sometimes they're necessary. I don't like using them all the time, but it's not like I'd be a hypocrite and like Donald Trump using it, but then get mad when Obama uses it, because Obama has he's legally allowed to do it, so nothing really could be done about it unless the Senate has a 60. I'm sure they have to overrule it by a 2/3 majority. Unless that happens, then it's the law. Unless the Supreme Court rules that it's unconstitutional, but then it's a law, so you can't really do anything about it. And it's the president's privilege to do it. It can't be stripped from him, but being the president is kind of a right, in a sense, that you earned it by being born here or having a parent that was born. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Hopefully I'll continue with this series, probably a part 2, because it's really long to go through all the policy achievements and rate everything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye.